Hello everyone. How are you guys? Everybody's good.
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
I suppose I'm properly audible to everyone. Yeah. It should make it a little bit better. Okay, lovely. So let's begin today's session. Back and neck straight. You can just sit comfortably in any posture. Make sure your back and neck is straight, and then you can gently close the eyes and start observing your breath. Just watch the breath as it is. And disconnect from all the thoughts, bringing the mind back to the breath. And once you feel ready, you can see if your breath is now becoming slow, long, and deep. Make sure that there is no effort when you do this. We're stepping into the practice of Puraka. And same goes for the exhalation, Rechak. Long, slow, and deep inhalation. Long, slow, and deep exhalation. Take your time. And prepare yourselves for chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shanti. Exhale completely, and then inhale for Om. 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 Shanti. Shanti. Just feel the vibration. Join both the palms together in front of the chest and rub them together. Place them over the eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at the palms, open up your eyes, come back with a big smile. And namaste to everyone. Let us begin today's session. So I think yesterday everything was clear. Nobody had any doubts. Yes. And still there are no doubts. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. So let me move ahead. So today we are going to, yesterday also we discussed, we are going to talk about the 5 pranas that are there in the body. Yes. So your entire pranic body is also further subdivided into different prans, the main pranas that are there. And those pranas take care of certain actions in the body. Okay. So the first one is called pran itself. So we are discussing the 5 pranas. And the first one is also called pran. Okay, okay, so pran, the first prana that I'm talking of, in which I'm saying that there are 5 categories, is the overall pranic energy that we discussed yesterday. Okay. And the second pran that I've written, which is a part of these 5 pranas, is located from your larynx till the diaphragm. Okay. So this entire region, the chest region, which is covered, it is covered by pran itself. Just 1 second. Yeah. So that is covered by pran itself. So you can write down the location from the larynx till the diaphragm. This is the pran that is present and it is responsible for the activities of this area. Okay, so the heartbeat, the functioning of the chest, the lungs, all of these functions are carried out by the pran. Okay. Okay, movement of diaphragm, all of these things are taking place due to the vital energy called pran. Then the next one. So pran is also associated with inhalation. So when you take in the breath, the lungs expand. So the inhalation process, the entering of something in the body is associated with pran. Then the next one is apan, the exact opposite. It has the exact opposite function, which is expulsion. Okay. So when you exhale the breath, apan is the pran which is functioning and making this process happen in the body. So the location of apan, if you generally see, the location of apan is below the navel area and till the genital organ. Okay, so this area, this entire area, your lower abdomen below the navel, yeah, till that position where your genital organs are. So this entire location is is taken by the apan vayu. Okay, so these are, we can say, 5 pranas, panch vayu also, we call it vayu also. So this area is taken up by apan. It is related with the expulsion of the toxins from the body. So the large intestine, kidneys, anus, all of these organs will come under the category of apan. So whenever something is released from the body, that is the function of apan. Okay. Then we move on to our third vayu, third pran, which is saman. Okay, so let me spell these out because students who will watch later, they need to know the spelling also. So pran is Prana. Apan is Apana, and Saman is Saman. Okay. Saman Vayu is given a lot of relevance in yoga in general because of its location, other reasons also, but yeah, mainly this location is considered to be very important. So the area below your diaphragm and till your navel, so that space in between, we have discussed the upper space, the lower space, the space in between is called the Saman Vayu. Okay. So this Vayu is concerned with the most important process of the body, which is digestion. Okay, so when you are studying in your Ayurveda therapy classes also, digestion is given a lot of relevance in that class also. So your digestive activities take place due to the Saman Vayu in the body. Okay, and the entire, like all the organs, the stomach, the liver, pancreas, all of these organs are functioning because of this prana in the body. Okay, so assimilation, the task of assimilation is also carried out by the saman vayu. Okay? Distributing whatever has been broken down is also conducted by the saman vayu. Okay, now we are left with two more vayus and we will cover the entire body in this. Okay. So next is Udan Vayu. Udan is Udan. Udan. Okay, so you can, if you made a small body structure, you can color the area above your larynx and both your limbs, so your hands and your legs. So that entire region is covered by the Udan Vayu. Okay, once again, your eyes are blinking, ears are listening, all of these actions above your throat region, whatever actions are taking place, it is because of the Udan Vayu that this is taking place. The coordination of the limbs is taking place because of Udan Vayu. Okay, so the control and coordination of the limbs, the movement in the limbs, and each and every muscle, the function of each and every muscle is governed by the Udan Vayu. Okay. And the last one that we have is Vyan. Vyan. Vyan Vayu. So this is present in your entire body. Okay. So the circulation, the blood circulation that is taking place in the body, Vyan is responsible for that. The working of the circulatory system. On a pranic level, so one thing is on an anatomical level, certain function is taking place, but the force which is, making sure that the blood is being circulated, that subtle force is Vyan in the body. Okay. And one more thing, Vyan is also a reserve for all other prans. Okay, so suppose some pran goes into depletion. I will also be talking about this after I cover all these five. So suppose some pran has gone into depletion. So this Vyan acts as a reserve for those pranas, okay, all the rest of the pranas, and their coordination and functioning is also governed by Vyan. So it is very important. It's present throughout your body. Okay. So your entire body is covered in these 5 major pranas. Okay. Then there are some upprans also. Uppran meaning certain, if I have a major pran, then there is another pran. Okay, yeah. So if there is a major pran, then a part of that pran is an uppran. Okay, so chapter, subchapter, you can say. That is how you can understand this. So there are 5 upprans also. That is a lot of detail. If we can understand just the 5 pranas, that is enough for us when we go ahead and perform the practice of pranayam. Okay. So when you are performing the practice of pranayam, this all of these pranas are being affected in the body. Okay. At some level or the other, your entire pranic body is being affected. So there is some noise. Okay. Okay. So any doubts so far? First, let me just take if you have any doubts. The location is clear to everyone? Oh,
Tout va
I'll
bien.
take that as a yes.
Tout va bien.
Okay, great. Okay. So I was talking about the depletion of funds. So let me continue on this line only first. So as per the yogic philosophy, uh, of these prans are taking care of the functioning of various organs in the body depending on where they are located. Yes. So how does disease occur? As per the yogic philosophy, when there is a blockage in a pran somewhere, some nadi, yesterday I talked of nadi, so some energy channel somewhere it gets blocked. So you can easily understand this. Sometimes what happens is on an anatomical level, the blood also gets blocked. There is some clotting that happens. In the same way, the prana in the body also faces some blockages depending on certain situations, certain things. Some energy blockage can be caused in the body. Okay. And when this energy blockage takes place, then the functioning of the organ is directly impacted. Okay. So when the functioning of the organ is impacted and it shows on a physical level. So from an energetic level, it moves to the physical level. When the functioning of the organ is impacted, that condition, we call that a disease. Yes. So when you perform pranayam, in the pre-practices of pranayam, I will be teaching you a few practices through which you can clean these blockages. And then when you perform the pranayam practice, so understand that before performing the pranayam practice, first you need to get established in the pre-practices of pranayam. Okay. Once there is no energy blockage in the body, that is when you will be able to derive the right benefit of a pranayam. Otherwise, if I am performing a pranayam, then my entire energy, suppose I'm doing a particular pranayam, so the focus of that entire pranayam will change to releasing that blockage. Okay. But the main impact of the pranayam, the main benefit I will not be able to derive. Why? Because there is already a blockage which is not allowing the energy to flow in the body. Okay. So, first, even though we only have 1 month, so I will be introducing all the pranayam practices to you. But for your personal practice, first work on the cleansing of the nadis. Okay. Once the nadis are free from any blockages, then you will be able to see immense benefits of pranayama. Okay. So let me move ahead and again connect it to nadis. So I will write this down. I think I wrote it down yesterday also. Nadis. Yes, these are the energy channels, nadis. Okay, so when you go into nadis, trying to understand nadis, you will find that there are a lot of nadis that are present in the body. As per one of the Hatha yogic texts, we have 72,000 nadis in the body. Okay, so 36,000 are on one side. So the body is symmetrically divided from between. So one side 36,000 nadis and other side 36,000 nadis are present. Okay. Yes. So total 72,000 nadis are present in the human body. Okay, as per Hatha-yoga, that is what is stated in that text. So nadis cannot be seen through an X-ray, like I mentioned yesterday also. So when you consult different texts, you will find the number is varying from one like figure to the other figure. But for the sake of simplicity, let's go with just this one text, and 72,000 nadis are present in the body. Okay, and half, one side, one side. So out of this, in yoga, three nadis are considered to be very important. Okay, so they are named Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna. I will be covering these in your philosophy classes also. So let me just write this down for you. Ida is the left side. IDA, Ida. And Pingla is right nostril. Pingla is Pingala. And then we have Sushumna. Sushumna is the central nadi. These are the three major nadis out of the 72,000 nadis that are present in the body. And so when the right nostril is represented by Pingla, left is Ida. Okay. So generally what happens is you will observe that during the day, one nostril is more dominant than the other nostril. Okay. So even if you haven't observed till now, you guys can take this up as a fun activity. Yes. And today, after the class, just observe which nostril is working for you. Okay. You can do it right now also. One is generally more dominant than the other. Okay. And these switch after a period of around 1.5 hours. There is a switch from one nostril to the other. Okay. So this we'll be doing in depth in the philosophy class. But for basic information, I'm just mentioning this. Okay. So generally either Ida or Pingla is active. And a spiritual aspirant has to aim to activate the Sushumna Nadi, okay, the central Nadi. So when the energy will flow through the Sushumna Nadi, that is when the spiritual aspirant will be able to gain maximum benefit. So the entire process of asana, pranayam, all of these things are to actually activate the central nadi, which is the Sushumna Nadi. Okay. While Ida or Pingla are working, the Sushumna Nadi is never activated. Okay, because energy is flowing through either Ida or Pingla. When both of them cease to exist, that is when the Sushumna Nadi is activated. So during the day, after 1.5 hours, what happens is your nostril will switch. Okay, Each nostril, like the one which is dominant, has its own role. So when this switch takes place, there is a moment in between where both the nostrils start working. Okay. And when both the nostrils are working, that is a very important place. Okay. For a spiritual aspirant, that is the portion which they elongate when the Sushumna Nadi is activated. So when the switch is taking place, you will observe that both the nostrils have started working. That means that momentarily, only for a few seconds, even for a common person, the Sushumna Nadi is activated daily, multiple times. Okay, considering 90 minutes to go to that switch, it's activated multiple times. Okay, so in pranayam also, we are somewhere trying to increase the time that the energy flows in the Sushumna Nadi. Okay. Any doubts so far in Ida, Pingla, Sushumna? Any doubts? Oh. So we'll go in
Non,
depth.
merci. Tout va bien.
Hmm.
It's okay. Thank you.
So we'll discuss in length in the philosophy class, but you need to know before you start the practice of pranayama. Okay. So next point, which is very important. Why specifically pranayam? Why specifically elongating the breath so that we are able to tap into something which we are generally not able to tap into? Yes. So it has a very strong scientific backing. Okay. So generally, like yesterday also, I told you, you have around 14 breaths in 1 minute. Okay. So we have around 21,000, between 21 to 22,000 breaths in one day. Okay. So we have come here with a limited number. Okay. So the yogi, he is a scientist. He has the ability to observe everything around him and himself. Okay. So both the things are happening when you reach the yogi level. Okay. Awareness is very high. Okay. So what happened was the yogis started observing that, okay, there are certain animals which live for a very long period of time. And then there are certain animals which do not live for a very long period of time. So let me take the example of a dog. So the dog breathes very fast, and we can see that the dog's lifespan is generally very much low. So human life is much more than the dog's life. So I will place us in the middle. Okay. One side I'm taking the example of a dog, and other side tortoise. Okay. So dog breathes very fast, and hence his lifespan is lower. Okay. Then if you move to the other side, the tortoise breathes very slowly. And because the number of breaths are limited, and he is able to use that breath in a way where it takes him longer to inhale and exhale, he lives a very, very long life. Yes. So the yogi was able to observe this, and hence he created or devised practices through which you are able to increase the breath. Yes. And when you increase the breath, you gain control over your pran. And when you gain control over the pran, that is when you are able to expand the pran. Okay. So now if it is in my control, if everything is in my control, then I will use that same pran in a different manner so that I can derive the most benefit out of it. And that is what we will be practicing when we are going into these classes. Okay. So lifespan is directly connected to your breath. First thing, this was observed. Okay. Second thing, even science has seen this, that people who breathe at a lower like rate. So suppose I'm just taking 5 breaths in a minute. Yes. So if I'm taking 5 breaths in a minute and my breath is rhythmic, it's slow, rhythmic, deep. my state of mind is directly connected to that. Okay. So if my breath is rhythmic, then I am in a much better state of mind. If my breath is shallow, then I am in a much more agitated state of mind. So how can you observe this? Now during the day, you are doing everything that you are supposed to do. So start observing this thing. Okay. So when you are in an agitated state of mind, just check your breath. Just close your eyes, take a few moments and check your breath. When you are in a very calm state of mind, just close your eyes and check your breath. You will yourself be able to see this difference. And even science is now proving these things, how your breath pattern affects your mind. Okay, so most people are not breathing correctly, so their mind is also automatically impacted because of the wrong breathing pattern. So we are going to work on correcting that as well. Okay, in these classes. Yeah. And also there is another thing that has been given in the yogic text, that the breath, as the breath moves, so the mind moves. Okay, so not only is your physical health connected to your breath, your mental health is also the fluctuation in the mind, like we were talking in the morning about chitta vritti. Yes, we were talking about vrittis, the fluctuations, the impression. So when one works on the breath, those fluctuations reduce. So in Western terms, I would say that you go from one wave state of the mind to the other wave state. So there are different wave states of the mind: alpha wave, beta wave, delta wave. So when you work on the breath, you are able to go from one wave pattern of the brain to the other wave pattern. That is very much easy to understand, because right now a lot of studies are being done in the form of observing these waves. Yes, this frequency of the mind. So as your breath slows down, the frequency of the thoughts will also go down in the mind. So you can do either of the things. You can either work on the mind and observe how your breath changes, or you can go the other way around also. You can change your breath and relax your mind. Yes. So pranayam immensely helps you with that as well. Okay. So for today, we are going to work on the normal breath. Okay. So we are going to just make sure that our inhalation and exhalation is equal, one thing. And second thing that we are going to work on is that we are following the breath as it enters the body and it reaches our chest. Yes. So the lungs expand. And then we are going to go in the reverse process of exhalation and follow the breath throughout. So from the lungs to the throat and then out through the nostrils. So today we are going to practice normal breathing. Okay. So any doubts so far? Okay, great. I'm assuming nobody has any doubt. Okay, so let's just close our notebooks and sit up straight in any comfortable posture. And you can gently close your eyes. Just follow my instructions. Gently close the eyes and start observing the breath. Make sure that your back and neck is straight and your body is relaxed. Keep observing the breath. And relax your mind. Relax your forehead, neck, and shoulders. And as you feel ready, you can begin to go into the breath pattern, Puraka and Rechaka. So your breath is now, you are aware of the breath, there is no effort, and it is slow, long, and deep. Make sure that you're applying no unnecessary force when you breathe. And now we're going into the practice of normal breathing, where your inhalation and exhalation should be equal, and you will follow your breath when it enters the body and exits the body. So exhale completely, and then as you begin to inhale, feel the breath go in from the nostril region to the back of the mouth, through the throat, and finally, as it enters your lungs, your chest is completely expanded. When you exhale, feel the contraction in the lung and the air go through the neck, the back of the mouth, and out through the nostril. Keep following this breath and make sure that if you're taking 5 or 7 seconds to inhale, then you're also taking the same 5 or 7 seconds to exhale. If your breath is shorter than this 5 second period, don't worry, just follow your breath. Don't force anything. Keep observing. Continue your practice for a few more breaths. Staying aware of each breath and making sure that there is no retention. And we inhale and exhale. Continue your practice. Following each breath and keeping the mind completely focused on the breath. It's okay if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the breath. Complete 5 more breaths, and then you can suspend this practice and simply observe the breath as it is. Make sure that your back and neck are straight as you just simply observe the breath. And stay connected with yourself. Join both your palms together in front of the chest. Hand up both the palms together. Generate the heat properly. And then place your palms on your eyes. Very gently place them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms, open up your eyes. Slowly come back. When you feel ready, you can unmute yourself, share your experience. If you faced any difficulty, you can ask doubts. Did everyone get the technique properly? What they're doing? Okay. I will assume that everyone picked up the technique properly. Okay. So this is your.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, my mind kept wandering and I had to keep bringing it back to the breath. So, yeah.
That happens. It's okay. As long as you recognize that the mind is wandering and you are able to bring it back to the breath and then observe this natural inhalation exhalation process, it's good.
Okay, thank you.
Any other concerns that anybody had?
And I got a headache at the top right-hand side of my head. Is that normal for that to happen? It was quite specific in one part of my head.
It's okay. As long as it doesn't continue. Okay, so in the upcoming classes, just observe. If it's coming up again and again, then we will have a proper discussion on
Okay,
this.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So for now, it's normal. You can go ahead and go in child's pose. It will help you to release that headache. Yeah. Okay, so this was your first practice of the pre-practice. Okay, so right now we have stepped into the pre-practices of pranayam, and normal breathing is the first pre-practice that we do before we step into pranayam. Okay, so I had one more thing in my mind. No, I forgot. Okay, yeah. Oh yes, so tomorrow we will be discussing the general I would say general things that you should know before you practice pranayam. So and tomorrow we will cover another pre-practice if we have time. But general notes for a practitioner before the practice of pranayam. Tomorrow we will discuss that. So for today, you can take out 5-10 minutes before sleeping and start working on the practice of normal breathing, where you are equalizing the inhalation and exhalation. So now start making time to practice these breathing practices, okay, in your day-to-day schedule. Okay, so before sleeping, you can take out 10 minutes and start with this practice. So let's end today's session. Back and neck straight, just close your eyes. And we will chant Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Exhale completely. And then inhale for Om. Om. Shan. Shan. Shanti. Join both the palms together in front of the chest. And now rub both the palms together. Place them over the eyes. And very slowly, while blinking and looking at the palms, open up your eyes. Come back with a big smile. And namaste to everyone. I will see all of you for your philosophy class tomorrow. If you have any doubts, please feel free to unmute yourselves, ask me right now, or you can come back with your doubts tomorrow as well, as you feel comfortable. Okay, so I think there are no doubts. Okay, so bye-bye everyone.
Merci beaucoup. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.